Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Chief.
Eddie.
And this is Redline Radio, an all gas, no break Chicago sports podcast brought to you by, as it still stands, the number one tribute team ranked on the dozen, and Barstool Chicago. And we're ready to fucking rock and roll today, boys.
Wagon.
We're a wagon. We got our championship bout, our title bout against Brandon Walker and his band of misfits. Tonight it'll be airing. Tune in and fuck Brandon Walker, that whiny little crybaby.
Days a lot.
Chief,
Give
I know
us
you got
cut
some.
another promo like you did last week on Rico. Tell us what you think about Brandon.
I just said what I think. I think he needs to stop his fucking bitching and have fun. I've told him this plenty of times. It's like he's miserable at all times. Like, just high strung and stressed out. It's like, dude, it's a fucking trivia contest. The rules are made up on the fly. Not to say that Jeff D'Lo doesn't do a great job, because he does, and he works his ass off on his little baby of a brand, and I mean that in a good way. But Brandon, just fucking chill out, man. Just
The man
chill
likes
out.
to compete, huh?
It's just all about Brandon all the time. That's the thing. Like, just doesn't always have to be the Brandon Walker show all the time.
I had not realized that there was a conclusion because there was so much scuttlebutt beforehand. So that's coming out Thursday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Cool.
So we're recording this Wednesday.
Special.
This will be out tomorrow night. And fuck Brandon.
Well, good luck.
I wasn't here for the Misfits drama.
Oh, we didn't even touch that. Apparently, Dante wanted to come on. He's like super fired up about everything that happened. He's out of town now, but yeah, I guess he's very mad about the circumstances.
It's a competitive format. It really does bring out. I was saying before the match, like, I legitimately had like butterflies. I wasn't nervous, but like, you got that sense. I don't know if it was like, hey, go warm up in the bullpen, or like you knew you had an at bat coming up the next inning, Dave, or something. You're like in the on deck circle. Like,
Oh, well, I mean, if I got that call, I was just like, oh, I guess they're waving the white flag. So I was never nervous. It was just like the onslaught was on in either direction. But do
you ever get nervous though? Like, is that an emotion
for sports?
Pretty much anything. Does Dave Williams get nervous? I'm genuinely curious.
Nah, not really.
No.
For sports, I love the.
Me? Fuck yeah.
I get exceptionally nervous.
Yeah,
About what?
I do too.
Anything.
Mm-hmm. I don't like public speaking, really.
No, I didn't like public speaking. I sucked at it, but I suck at speaking in general. It wasn't really a nerve thing. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna go fuck up a bunch of words and fumble around for 20 minutes talking about like the Spanish book I read. That was the worst, was Spanish public speaking.
Well,
That was
no, is it
awful.
though? I feel like if you get it wrong, you get it like it's like
sorry, it's
pass.
not my first
Yeah.
language.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
it's
working
true,
on it,
but
guys. Yeah, that's a good
it
point, Ed.
sucked. I hated that, but no, I never got nervous. In sports, like if it was like a big situation, I was up to bat or something, I loved it.
Chief, why'd you look at Eddie like
Yeah.
that?
I mean, like, he was president of his frat. I'm sure there's an element of public speaking there. On stage as a strip club DJ. And now his job is to talk into a microphone every single day.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
that
like,
doesn't
what do you
mean-
mean you don't like public speaking?
That doesn't mean like you're like
Yeah, no, I did the Section 108, their live show at Reggie's last week. So about 10 days ago, and that was in front of like 75 people. And I get little butterflies going in front of people. This is different, though. This isn't public speaking. It's the four of us.
Well,
you know?
it's entirely not right now. There's only two producers.
Right,
and
yeah.
us in
But
the
like,
room.
I
But I'm saying like as you do this longer, it gets easier, you get better at it. But like the first live show we did, I was fucking like,
Yeah.
we were on the job for like 2 months.
Yeah.
We
And
go
then
out
go
there to
enter-
a packed Jewel. Like, you know
Yeah,
what
no,
I mean?
I'm
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
How about when I was on the phone with you in the summertime about going to interview Chris Bryant? Dude, it was like the fourth time I was going to interview Chris Bryant, and you're just like, all right, Mike, everything's going to be okay. Or it was like, it wasn't, and I'm paraphrasing,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah,
the way
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, you could tell my head was just like spinning 1,000 directions. It is nerves because you want to do a good job.
Yes.
But the other thing is like, you don't, it's not like Chris Bryant's going to walk in here tomorrow. It's not like he's going to walk in the day after. Like, to me, it was like, well, you don't really get a lot of bites at this apple, and I want to do a good job. So
Yes.
that makes me nervous.
That I'm actually comfortable in interview settings at this point. Like I'm fine with those.
Yeah.
I actually know where my nervousness stems from too. My sister asked me to do a reading at her wedding one year. Okay, when she was getting married, and it was like a fucking psalm or whatever, And I'm like, I don't need to look at that. Like it's gonna be easy. I get up there, fucking the Bible threw me the fucking wackiest words that you could fucking find, and like I'm like struggling through this, and I'm not like not.
And all eyes are on you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you ever get that thing where like the oxygen just gets sucked out of your fucking solar plexus, and that happened. I couldn't catch my. It was like really bizarre, and it was so bad because when I went to go sit down in the pew, everyone's like, "Yo, do a good job, good job." It's like when they tell you did a good job,
just to make you feel better.
Yeah.
You did bad, and then the best one, what I really appreciate of my dad's buddies, he like fucking, after that thing, he's like, "Hey man, for going to fucking broadcasting school, you fucking suck." and I'm like, you know what? I really appreciate you doing.
You need
that.
to hear that.
You kept it real.
I do think that wedding public speaking is at a different level. Like when I did Carl's wedding, that's probably the last time I felt genuinely nervous.
Dude, like
that's impossible.
Yeah, like a
because
I've never
that's
given
like,
a best man speech.
But like you just don't want to fuck up somebody's wedding.
Yeah,
but
you're standing there next to me and my wife in front of, like, I cannot think of, like, inserting someone into a more, like, hey, Chief, it's a pretty fucking important thing here.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I'm trying to think back to, like, our old careers. Like, I would have to give sales presentations and things like that. Like, that never bothered me. It would always just be like, well, I fucked it up. Like, but like I don't want to ruin something very important for somebody else, but if it's usually when you're public speaking, it's just for yourself. If you embarrass yourself, like, oh, that sucked, and you just move on to tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean,
yeah.
I get, but yeah, the wedding is the worst. You never done a best man speech?
No, I've thought about it a handful of times.
You've
Not
done
like
it, yeah.
thought about doing one, but like thought about what if I was in this situation. I would be shitting my pants, I think, and with nerves.
Yeah, and
it ruins the day. I mean, you're taking pictures and you're just like, hello, my name. You're just
it's such a burden. It's such a burden.
Yeah.
Like, what if I crack a joke and nobody like laughs and it's like awkward silence? I'm just looking around.
You just say, "Well, I flopped," and then everybody laughs. You roll with it. Like,
have you done it?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just I guess I would say the only time since like I was little being nervous to do public speaking was his wedding, Carl's wedding.
I appreciate that, Chief. Well, we picked you for a reason, man. You did a good job.
I don't even remember.
But I blacked out through my brother's best man speech.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, remember, that was a fun. I'm like, I don't even remember like walking in the room or out. And I had such a bad cold, I couldn't drink at my brother's wedding. I couldn't do anything. So I was like stone sober on the floor giving the speech, which is probably good in some respects, but also bad in others.
I just remember being like, it's the only time I've ever had like the nervous sweats. Like you just feel
and that
it
sweat smells different.
It does smell different.
It's like
it's way worse.
It does.
I don't think I do that. I'm not saying wrong.
I don't know that it smells different, but it smells like it's like a more concentrated version.
Yes. More concentrated is the perfect way to put it. You've never noticed that? It's like, I think what it probably is you're nervous, so you don't want anything to go wrong, and that just adds to it. So even if you're a little sweaty, and like everybody's sweaty at a wedding, it's a fucking wedding. Mm-hmm. You're like, holy shit! Like I'm nervous now. It's like in the back of your head. So I
remember being
smell it easier.
Thankful that Carl's wedding was outside because it was just like the wind would
breeze.
It would just blow the stench off. So I didn't have wood. I wasn't using wood back then. So
get some wood products if you're watching this. You see how the champagne conditioner, the golden hour. It's nice fucking stuff. Another thing that kind of bubbled up, I'm sure Eddie, you enjoy this. White Sox Dave made some eggs yesterday, and Cons was like giving Dave shit.
Cons is such a fucking loser.
But like anytime Dave needs to do more food stuff, because I feel like anytime you do food stuff, it just like goes viral.
Smashes.
Okay, first of all, the majority of the time I do food stuff, it's a troll. And Ed, you were there with me when I bought the steak. I said, watch me have some fun with this thing.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like usually we'd be on opposite sides. I could vouch for you on this.
You can vouch for me.
A lot of the times it's a troll.
Last night wasn't really a troll, though.
I thought they looked good.
It was a perfectly fucking whipped up, easy 5-minute breakfast. Like, for dinner, obviously. But people are like critiquing me on how my eggs looked and how the hash browns weren't fried enough. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking losers. This is supposed to be a quick and cheap and easy meal. And someone did ask me if I tweeted the picture after I already ate a couple strips of bacon, and the answer is yes. I had consumed 2 prior to taking
How many
the picture.
strips will you make it? Assume you have a full
I go
pack.
4.
Okay.
I go 4 because I take the bacon off first and kind of use the bacon grease to cook the eggs and potatoes. So it gives a little extra flavor.
I would have assumed that you use the jarred oil. Looking at this
I
picture.
do.
So it's both.
I mix in. Yeah, I'll dump the grease out, but you take the bacon off the pan, so it's just sitting there like staring a hole through your soul. You can't not eat it.
You're right, and
So-
that's when it's at its best.
Yeah,
anytime
exactly.
you have to wait to eat the bacon, it's just it's like a car where like leaving the lot, it loses value like every second. It's not in your stomach.
That's well said. Any
So-
sausage patty like crossover? No.
Not last night, but I do have sausage in my fridge as we speak. Yes, I just go Jimmy Dean's sausage rolls, not the pre-rolled stuff, not the links. That's how I like my sausage.
We've talked? Are you Link or patty, Ed?
If I'm cooking it on my
Link.
own, I go patty.
I'm Link, but I don't like that it's become a trend where these places are doing like huge ones.
No, like
Yeah.
down the street.
I don't like that.
It's like a fucking bratwurst.
Yeah, I don't want a brat. Yeah, I want the
You want a breakfast
standard.
sausage.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
like
No.
Boy Scouts pancake breakfast. Like,
Yes.
that's
With
what
the
I want.
texture,
Yes,
you know, like the dimples on it.
Yes.
Yes.
Not the smooth with the griddle mark. Or
Yes.
the
Agreed.
and I'll even take that too, but just don't give me a brat, like Dave said.
Yeah.
I can't.
I can't stand it. Why are they doing
If you agree though, it's like a trend now. People get. These
Oh yeah, I've
massive
seen it way
sausages.
more.
Yeah.
They're like thick.
They're huge, dude. I hate.
Like
it.
I like my sausage so I could dip it in the yolk, not like so I would have like you can use your fork for that, but like a sausage link, you're like it's a whole job to do that. Like
Yeah.
the thick ones, it stinks.
before another reminder, please go vote for the 100 snake draft.
Yes, go do that.
Tom, you look
Great
like you got
reminder.
something to say, son.
No, it's a good plug.
Great plug.
Great plug.
Because I'm thinking of breakfast sausages, and like we could probably do a draft on pork products.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. could.
I'm at the point now. It's like they said before I dropped out of law school. They said when you start, you're going to take a class negligence, and they're going to teach you about like lawsuits get filing negligence and like someone fucked up, and they're like once you start learning this stuff, you'll start seeing it out in the world. Like so you never really thought when you walk under scaffolding, but like take a law school class about negligence and like you won't be able to walk under scaffolding on a sidewalk without being like, wow, this is fucking dangerous. And it just like explodes your mind. Like it's all you see. You see stuff where you're like, oh, that's a lawsuit. I feel like I'm like that with snake drafts now, where like something happens and it's like, can we draft that? Is this draftable? Is this something that needs to make its way on the list?
That's what we need. I mean, we're fucking 100 deep. We need some topics. I mean, we still have a lot of topics. Don't get me wrong.
So you got
Like,
any
I know
on the
people are always
docket?
like, "Oh, you guys must be fucking running out." We have a lot, but like, it's just all about the right timing and the right one. And people are like, "Oh, well,
You like it to be topical.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's
Yeah.
smart." Like, why would you not like have that do the?
I agree.
Have that do it for you. But what'd you say?
If you guys put in like anonymous picks though, say like go back to draft 16 and it was like the anonymous like team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I'd be lucky to pick out my team.
I
Like
know.
I don't
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
if you were like, what did I draft in the
Oh,
For sure.
like I remember the air conditioning draft because I got roasted for the airplane, but I don't remember
That was
picks
a bad
1,
pick.
2. Thanks, man. But I couldn't tell you picks 1, 2, 4, or 5 for me on that draft.
I wonder how well I would do. I have a pretty good memory when it comes to that shit. But
Could you fill out brackets like Jeff?
no, fuck no. Because Jeff is like, he knows the location. It's like, why does that matter?
Oh, it's
That it was
crazy.
in San
It's
Antonio.
crazy.
I think it's
No offense to
I think
Jeff.
it's one of the most impressive like tricks or talents that anybody at Barstool has.
It's definitely impressive, but like it's just one of those things. Like even when you were like psycho, baseball almanac kid when you were younger, like you never knew that kind of thing.
No, that was in Dayton, Ohio. You were wrong when you said Toledo.
Yeah, exactly. Like the
that.
tops, was like the All-Star Game cities.
What else we got, boys?
Not a whole lot in the baseball world. Apparently, the players
How's that CBA going?
fucking hated the owner's first proposal, and they're coming back with a counter proposal today or tomorrow. It fucking stinks, man. Like today, I wrote about Norge Vera. Do you guys know who that is?
I do not.
Nope. And
See
nor
that-
should you.
Cuban outfielder.
Cuban pitcher. Like by all accounts, is supposed to just be awesome. And the White Sox signed him about a year ago. They signed him. But that's like what I'm fucking ready about. I want I want to bitch and moan about the White Sox half-assing something, or I want to speculate over some superstar fucking free agent that the White Sox will undoubtedly not sign. You know, I want to bitch some more, and I can't do it because there's nothing to bitch about. It fucking stinks.
Sounds like they're gonna go into they're definitely gonna miss games. It sounds like.
They're not gonna miss games. I don't think. I think they'll miss probably 2 weeks of spring training. They'll hammer it out though. There's too much at stake for both, and I don't think the players are gonna risk losing games because then they're losing money. The owners have all the leverage in the world. They're just gonna be like, "Fuck you, we're not playing."
I like this. This is something we'll monitor throughout this whole thing because you've been pretty strong that you don't think they're going to miss games.
I don't think they're going to miss games.
So as of January 19, you still haven't changed your stance. So, and a lot of people think it's not going to happen. So,
yeah,
going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, in
Dave's emotions.
I think there's like this owner problem too. Someone was explaining this very well. Like, if you own a football franchise, most of these owners are like very competitive, stubborn. Like they want to win. There aren't a lot, or there's much fewer of those in Major League Baseball.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of owners that are like, oh, it's a good investment. Really hard to win a World Series. You know, they don't nail you across if they do or don't win it. It's just like have a good experience, turn a profit.
It's interesting.
I mean, it kind of helps me think about why are these guys not more competitive about like getting the fucking product back on the field?
Who's like who's known as like the lower tier owners?
The worst owner is the guy from
Pittsburgh?
the Pirates.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Like, what do you think that guy does in these things? Like,
dude, I don't think he has much say.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah.
I think he's like, here's your budget for the start of the year. You guys can do whatever you want. Don't fuck with the budget.
Yeah, probably. I would say that's probably a safe way to look at it. I mean, and I'm not saying this just because I'm the White Sox guy or anything, but Jerry Reinsdorf's been pulling the strings with the owners for decades and 4 decades now, 5 decades. And he's got like a powerful voice in that union. And he does not like giving in to the players. I mean, it cost him a World Series maybe in 94. And he's almost 86 years old. He turns 86 next month. Is it a little fucked up that I know when his birthday is and every year I look forward to it?
I don't think so at all. This guy is a massive part of your life.
He's maybe the biggest part of my life.
He's like the number one thorn in your side.
Well, it's fucked up that you look forward to it.
I don't look. It's not that I look forward to it. It's
He's
like,
looking forward to it being his last one.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's fucked
to
up.
it, the inevitable sale, because he's gonna sell before he dies. Because if he dies and he has the White Sox, it just gets diluted into kind of like with the McCaskies. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna sell, and hopefully someone with a lot of money nuts up and buys the team and operates like the big market team that they are. But like, it's Jerry Reinsdorf. Like, he's the one. He's the wizard behind the curtain. Is that the phrase? I think it is.
Yeah, it's a Wizard of Oz reference.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz.
Man behind the curtain.
Man behind the curtain.
I wonder, what was the bet we made? Didn't we have like a money bet how much they were going to go for when this happens?
I think that was you and Chief.
That's right.
I think I remember that conversation. Yeah.
It would be billions.
I said it'd be like $7 billion. Or
yeah,
something like
and
that.
I was like, "You're crazy. It won't be that much."
Yeah. Well, I wonder what the Forbes value.
And
is.
the Mets were like, what the Mets sell for 2? He might have paid cash though.
Something like that.
There's huge value to me on the White Sox brand, and I mean this like legitimately. It's so undervalued. The White Sox are cool. Like, you see a rapper in the fucking White Sox hat. You see like when DeMar DeRozan was doing the fucking interviews in the White Sox hat. Like, that looks so cool compared to the Cubs, and going back to like
they could be that cool franchise.
Wasn't like NWA was like repping their stuff.
NWA.
The White Sox just tweeted out what order are you going with, and they tweeted out 7 logos that they've worn, and they just tweeted this out like 10
They're all
ago.
sweet, yeah.
And like, honestly, it bothers me that I like live here and I can't wear any of this stuff. Like, they have great memorabilia.
Yeah, they do.
Very good brand. And if you're an owner, I think there could be like an opportunity for somebody in like a big fashion person to be like, hey, I want to get involved in this.
Well,
or like somebody like Jay-Z to be like, hey, I'll throw
Chance
money
the
to get
Rapper.
in on this.
Yeah.
I would have to go back and read the article. So do you guys remember when they came out those hats like 4-ish years ago? I think it was when Coloring Book came out from
It was
Chance.
like a gray and
they had like, it was a partnership with Chance where they would use each other's likeness or like branding, I should say, not necessarily likeness. And apparently Chance was supposed to be like the figurehead of the White Sox. And it was supposed to spearhead this whole movement where organizations start, co-branding with celebrities and apparently it was Reinsdorf who shut it down. And Chance was quoted afterwards saying like, yeah, like I thought we were going to be like this whole partnership, and like I forget the details, but they really fucked it up. But to your point, they could be that brand. Like they could be, and it, like you said, it goes all the way back to NWA with Eazy-E. He was rocking it in what music video was it? I think it was Express Yourself. And like after NWA was wearing their apparel, like you look, the White Sox are not the 5th most popular franchise or fan base, but they are always top 5 in sales for hats because it was like them,
it's cool.
The Yankees, the Dodgers, I want to say. I don't think it was the Cubs. The Sox might have been 3rd behind those 2 teams. And it's like, for what reason? Oh, they got cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very curious, though, why you think, I mean, I guess it makes sense if his shares are going to dilute because you've always said you've heard that he told Michael, get rid of the White Sox, keep the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
But if he has that much power, why, like, if he's that, if you got power, why would you give that up, right? If you're him.
If you're going to die.
I guess.
I mean, yeah. Can't take it with you to the afterlife, Ed.
Yeah.
I don't think, at least. Have you ever died?
Not that I'm aware of.
You don't know what's behind behind that curtain?
I wonder, though.
I guess talking about baseball, and you think like these owners and how shitty this is, where like we can't even talk about free agency. There is no hot stove. It's like completely extinguished. Meantime, did you guys see any like the Nickelodeon coverage or read the blog about like Major League Baseball needs to get in on the Nickelodeon coverage? All right. Even though the NFL playoffs completely fucking sucked this past weekend, it's just amazing how much of it. Like, did you see how many people watched the Cowboys Niners? It was like 45 million. Most viewed wild card game.
I watched every snap of every game, and I didn't
years.
give a flying fuck about those games. See,
same.
It's a juggernaut. It's a juggernaut.
It's crazy, dude. I read Dante's blog. I thought it was really well written. I did disagree with, I don't know, some of what he said. One thing that I would like to see, and then I was talking to Dante about this on text after I read the blog. This is late on Monday night, but he said I forget how he worded it, but I told him, I'm like, no, this is what like I think should do. You like if you put a mic on Anthony Rizzo mid game and he like strikes out, when he's pitching, he struck out what's his face on the Braves, Freddie Freeman, and they were like laughing it up. Like, I don't give a shit. I think that's all corny, and Rizzo obviously knows he's mic'd, so he's gonna play it up and be. But you know that if he's not mic'd, he's a fucking cocksucker in that dugout in the best way possible. He's a prick. He's fucking competitor and he wants to win. I want mics all over the field. I want mics in the dugout. I don't want the players necessarily knowing they're mic'd, and I want on a bridge baseball because baseball dugout is an awesome place.
How much?
The bullpen is an awesome place, and you stream it on the internet or you buy your own channel.
What would you pay for that? Because you'd have to stream it on the internet to get around the FCC. So
right, exactly. That's what it would have to.
So what would your monthly subscription be?
I don't know, $10 a month.
Okay.
Which is pretty standard for that sort of thing, I think. But then you get like so I think a Manning cast for baseball would put asses in seats. You'd have to find the right people. I do think Dallas Braden would be a great one because he knows the game inside and out, and he's like a different personality. He's not fucking, as much as I like him, he's not Ken Rosenthal. He's not, Matt Vasgersian.
Yeah, but
like
part of the reason
up.
it's because it's like Peyton is known for that. I would, if it was Greg Maddux.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I don't
disrespect
Tom,
Dallas, but that's more like what Biz does to me. Like, he's a big personality. He's awesome. Like, I could see Dallas doing that kind of role, but like Manning cast,
he does do that. He does that for the A's.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But like,
I was just throwing his name out there.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux is the one that popped in my mind. I'm trying to think of a position player that would compliment him.
He's dead, but Tony Gwynn would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, how about a living guy?
I know. That's what I'm thinking. Shut up. I'm thinking. Okay.
Is there a family
you know
like
what?
that?
You know what? I'm throwing Wade Boggs on the roster too.
Just like I want on a bridge, like they're breaking it. Like, I learned so much watching those Manning casts. Those guys are fucking geniuses when it comes to football, but they break it down in a way that's entertaining for the audience. Obviously, they bring in all these cool guests like Snoop Dogg and The Rock and shit.
Get the Griffies.
The Griffies are so fucking boring though. They're sticks in the mud, man. You would need that kind of exuberant personality like Peyton Manning, Whoever that is, there's definitely guys out there in the baseball world, but like or someone said this to me actually. This would be a fucking great one. The Giambi brothers, just roid out dip spit bottles everywhere, saying "fuck this cocksucker" nonstop. Like that's the kind of shit I want to see, and I think it would help.
Do we know that that's his personality type? Is he like that?
I mean, I just assume. Just like a juice to his skull out of steroids, him and his brother. I mean, who knows how accurate the movie was portraying Jeremy Giambi, but that's what he was known for.
In Moneyball, you mean?
Yeah, in
being
Moneyball.
a douchebag?
Just like he was a douchebag.
He was a huge douchebag.
I know you get Alex Jones a lot, but do you ever get Giambi?
I used to get Mark Burley constantly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could kind of see Giambi, too.
Dude, there's this picture on Google, and it's if you just type in Jason Giambi and you go to Google Images, it's the second picture of Jason Giambi in a Yankees hat, and he looks like he's 60 fucking years old.
Yeah.
He looks like he does, like, face exercises.
Like, that's what I want to see.
I don't think there'd be a sum of money, like, that you could ballpark me if there was a Giambi cast and White Sox Day was a guest for an inning.
Would you tune in for that, Ed?
1,000%.
I like where your head's at, Dave, because I am a little annoyed. Like, I shouldn't say annoyed, but I'm out on, like, cheeky commenters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the cute, like, oh, yeah, when I was on first base, the mayor, Sean Casey.
The kids are watching out there. Here's a great way to fucking work ground up when you're playing. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, Mad Fast Gershon. Like, I like Mad Fast Gershon. He absolutely has his place in baseball. I think I actually don't mind Jessica Mendoza. I hate A-Rod on the broadcast. But Fast Gershon's fine. Mendoza's fine. But, like, it's just so fucking boring, man.
Sucks, bro. That's kind of where it's at, though.
Spunk it up a little bit. And
Make it more authentic.
Make it more authentic.
Yeah.
Like, a major league dugout is a foul fucking place. A baseball dugout in general, once you get to any competitive level, and especially at the major league level.
How about Drake LaRoche on this?
Like
you got
Jake
the LaRoche family.
He just got married. He can't. He's
on his honeymoon.
He's soaking right now. In a disgusting way.
God.
But that's someone would have to grow the balls to do it.
Like, have you guys done a dog walk on soaking?
No, we have not.
We should.
I still don't understand how that works.
Yeah, how do you, like...
You just throw it in there.
And just let it soak.
Let
it get all shriveled up like a little raisin, Ed.
Yeah. I know my mom's listening to this.
Like, when you pop in the pool and your hands get all pruny?
Yeah, but it's still just like there's so many factors in play that just doesn't work.
Right.
I don't want to say it.
Rowan did a video on soaking.
He did?
Yeah.
At BYU?
Yes.
BYU, I remember looking at BYU because they had I think they had like a decent law school. And I wasn't like applying or going there, but it's just part of like getting familiar with the law schools and stuff. And it's like made very clear when you're looking at BYU. They're like, no tobacco on campus, no alcohol on campus.
Sounds like one big prep school.
A friend of mine.
I looked, it was like, could you even put in a dip at the library? It's like, no, you can get in major disciplinary.
A friend of mine got booted from BYU for premarital sex. They got a whole family now and everything, but...
Wasn't the power forward on that basketball team suspended for sex?
That's exactly what happened to my friend.
Yeah.
How did Jim McMahon survive that place?
Like, I don't get that. They might have had a little, you're doing good at quarterback type deal.
I don't know if that exists there, though.
I don't think it does.
Blind eyes are banned.
We always used to make fun of Wheaton College because of how religious and how they have the same sort of rules as BYU. If you look at like the most conservative, like no fucking around college lists, it goes BYU, Wheaton College. So like growing up in Wheaton, I know how bad Wheaton College is. Like there is no drinking. You do not drink at Wheaton College, no matter if you're 21 or not.
Yep.
And BYU's worse than that. Whew. Not my college experience.
And yet they still end up in the top 25 very frequently.
What is Wheaton College good at?
Everything. They recruit nationally because of their religious.
Oh, because they can get access to good athletes that want that environment.
Yeah, exactly. So
BYU also has. It's a huge difference between being 24 and 19.
Oh yeah,
like that doesn't get spoken about enough. They're years.
Can I tell you
older
something?
Than competition. Yes.
I kind of think that everyone should follow that route. The like do 2 years of service before going to college. And
like military service?
No. It can it can be like they like the Mormons do like their Mormon mission. So like you finish high school and then like you get accepted to BYU and then you go on a mission and then you come back at 20 as a freshman. I kind of think that that's a good way to do things. Like you can do 2 years, maybe it is 2 years of military. Maybe another person's working for national parks or who fucking knows.
Yeah.
But like you do 2 years of like real world experience. You go to college, maybe you appreciate it. I didn't appreciate college.
No, I didn't either.
Okay, so like now it's like you've been like, oh fuck, like you appreciate it. It's not just some like extended adolescence, and maybe you're paid during that 2 years, so you don't have like the crazy debt that goes with college.
Maybe you don't end up going to college because you start doing something you realize like, wow,
I really love this. Yeah. So then maybe you just don't, and maybe you don't have the need to it. So I don't know. I've heard, obviously it's not my like original idea. I've heard that other places, but I think the Mormons and BYU are onto something with that little work period of 2 years before you start school.
They're bringing the best out of themselves.
I think so. And then you're like more mature and more ready to be on your own when you actually go.
Definitely.
When's the last time you guys went down to a college campus? Or were like out at Iowa or like?
It's been a long time.
Fuck, man. When I was coaching, I would go down to ISU every year. My sister was in school at the time, so I would party with her. But I was like 24, 25.
I guess I've been to, like, I don't know if you would count this, but I've been to like a bunch of college football games where I would be like,
I wouldn't count that.
Tailgates and stuff.
Like I was going to pub 2 and shit till 2 in the morning.
When's the last time you like spent the night on a college campus?
Well, it doesn't count because I didn't do anything, but I used to stay in a hotel in Davidson, North Carolina.
That's and Davidson's like a nice school.
I remember looking when Davidson went on that run with Steph Curry. I was in college.
They had like 1,700 kids.
It was 1,800, and North Central was bigger than. I'm like, what the fuck is this school doing? Division I in the Elite Eight right now playing. Was it Oklahoma they lost to?
1950 is what they're in 2016. So which is about the size of Lake Forest College. I mean, it's probably a little bit bigger.
Yeah, North Central is almost 3 now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So,
that guy's been coaching basketball forever there. My cousin went to Davidson, and she's from Northbrook.
Oh, and it's a beautiful Davidson school.
Yeah,
like people, it's like outside. It looks like a little bit outside of Charlotte. It's very nice.
So I spent a night on a college campus recently on Monday. Illinois played on the floor. The amount of vape pens that are at a bar, like 3 out of 4 kids have a vape pen in their mouth. And the 4th kid has one in their pocket. It's just like everybody is just passing.
It's allowed?
Vape. I think so because the security guards also are vaping.
Okay.
Like everybody there, like I would imagine at this point, like Champaign police would show up vaping. That's how much vaping goes on a college campus.
Are you a vape guy?
I like to, if I see one, I'm like, hey, let me.
Yeah.
I would.
I don't mind a vape.
Categorically not buy one of those.
Okay. I'm surprised vaping and sharing vapes is such a thing in this era of COVID.
Yeah, I don't think there's
not a lot of concern for that.
There is actually, I think about it, was the most capacity bar I've been in since COVID.
Yeah. Well, it's like I don't even know if I should say this, but
that means you got to.
Yeah, you have well, to. I shouldn't say who said it, but I was out of the city somewhere. And we're like walking around, like looking around for like, I was walking into a store, like fumbling around my pockets for a mask. And the guy I was with goes, don't worry about that. Like, you're in real America now. Like, you're out of Cook County. Like, there's, like, don't fuck around. Like, don't worry about it. And I think that is kind of a thing. As soon as you leave, like, New York City proper, Cook County or something like that, like,
they just don't care.
You just live, they just live however they want to live. So.
When I was in college, this was right when all the states started enacting the indoor smoking ban. Mm-hmm. So when I turned 21, it was like, I want to say 2 or 3 days I had in bars where you could smoke in bars. And then like November 1st or something, it was like, you can't smoke in bars anymore. And it was like 6 months after that, they enacted the smokers ban in Michigan. And I went up to visit buddies at Western Michigan. Have you ever been to Western Michigan, by the way?
No. Very awesome. Big regret. Awesome. There's like 55,000 kids in Kalamazoo. It was
a riot. I put Kalamazoo? It up there. Yeah, Kalamazoo. I would put it up there with like close to Madison. Not nearly as good as Madison, but as a party school.
But from the perspective of like,
it was awesome. So we're going to all these bars. I probably had $100 cash on me for the entire weekend. Probably left the weekend with $50 because that's how college bars work. And but all like Marlboro and Camel or whoever, they were all at the bars just handing out packs of cigarettes, trying to get as many people addicted as possible prior to
the clock's ticking.
Yeah, we gotta get them
addicted now.
So they were just handing them out. I came back with an entire backpack full of smokes, and I was just selling them out of my dorm room forever.
That's how the mafia like starts.
That's how he did it. Yeah,
Jimmy's lifting cigs off the floor.
Selling loose cigarettes.
That's how he got pinched the first time.
Yeah.
Selling loosies. So yeah, like I don't know. Back then, a pack of smokes was probably like $6 or $7. I was selling for half off, and people were coming
all
to
profit.
me for them. Yeah, all profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them like, sign this consent form and then come outside the bar and then we will give you as much tobacco as you like I think that's when I first tried was like Skull Cherry, Skull Apple. Like anytime they were debuting like new flavors, it'd be like, oh, here's the tobacco reps at the bar.
We're doing dip.
We were talking like, are you actually going back to Eastern for? We're talking the last time we've spent a night on a college campus.
I did that dog walk college campus legends tour in
19, right?
Yeah, April of 19. So that was a long time ago. So maybe that, I assume. I think that would be it.
You guys spend the night at Eastern, I thought. I was after that.
We spent the night at Southern and Western.
Oh, the snowstorm night.
Yeah, and then we went there. Oh, that was after that, though. So, yeah. So that was probably, I think that was it.
Have you talked to anybody in Jimmy G's camp?
Dude, I'm, like, mystified by Jimmy G.
How so?
Because he...
Like, I would have figured, like, he would have done PMT or something by now, right? Like, I don't know.
I think Dante knows him.
Yeah, Dante.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Dante knows him.
Like, Dante, like, I think Rizzo knows him, and, like, that was the connection, but I'm pretty sure Dante knows him. I could be wrong about that. But Dante kind of knows everybody.
I remember back in 2016. So he's from Arlington Heights, and weirdly, I don't know why, I know a lot of White Sox fans from Arlington Heights. He's from Rolling Meadows, but call it Arlington Heights. And it was when the Cubs won it all in 2016. He was getting interviewed after the game. They're like, what do you think of the Cubs winning the World Series? He's like, I'm a White Sox fan. Don't want to talk about it. So I appreciated that.
Wow.
Yeah.
He wasn't
the opposite of the BAM list. He's on this vague appreciation list.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
So I would love to him and Frank Kaminsky. Frank Kaminsky, I remember he's like him and I were tweeting back and forth to each other. He's like, this is the worst day of my life.
That's like
he hates the Cubs. Mm-hmm. Hates them. I love it.
That's one of those sliding door scenarios. Like, what if the Bears had traded for Jimmy G, which cost a second-round pick, I think, and then they had the pick. They would have picked somebody else, maybe Christian McCaffrey, third overall.
It's not bad.
And then they probably win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In 18.
Chief woke up today and chose violence.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Like that could have been like a solution. But who knows? I mean, Nagy is such a bozo that he probably would have fucked that up with Garoppolo too. But yeah, no, it's I think about that often. Like if they had stepped up to the plate to get.
I don't think it's that big of a what if though.
What do you mean?
Like I don't think you could say probably win the Super Bowl. And then are they in a better position? Certainly.
Did I say probably?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like that
definitely
that
a
defense.
better shot.
Certainly.
That defense was right there, even without.
Certainly.
Yeah.
You still have the issue with the guy kicking field goals.
Yeah, but maybe you're up by 10.
Maybe.
Something I think about.
Yeah, like
something I think about. Christian McCaffrey and Garoppolo to the Bears.
Do you guys feel like the longer it goes on, though, the more people are willing to be like, yeah, if Parkey hits that, they definitely make that run to New Orleans? Or like, I feel like that's become more mainstream narrative. It was there at the time, hey, this is a very good team, but I feel like as more time passes.
Who did the Eagles play the next round?
They got smoked. Yeah.
Like crushed, right?
Yeah.
Like 50 points or something like that?
Yeah, I forget who exactly they played, though.
They just blacked it out.
It wasn't the Rams, was it?
That's who came to my mind first.
Was it?
I think it was the Saints.
It was the Saints?
Alshon Jeffrey, big drop.
Okay.
Oh, and then the Saints had the game against the Rams.
It
where
was
the Saints,
they
They
lost.
lost 20-14. Sorry, they did not get smoked.
They lost.
Right? Am I right?
No, I'm on the wrong.
Yeah,
year.
they lost 20-14. I thought they got. That's on me. I don't know.
I'm remembering an Eagles blowout in the playoffs too, though.
Yeah,
Must have been a different.
the year before. I'm crossing wires here.
dude, I love.
Yeah, they lost to New Orleans. Who I think the Bears beat that year, didn't they?
Oh, the Eagles were up 14-0 in the first quarter, so and then didn't score again. Wow. Oh, wow.
I love that Jimmy G brought like 20 of his friends from Eastern to the
That was
game.
sick.
And the picture afterwards, like, no offense to my Eastern Panthers, but like, they all look like Eastern guys. And part of it's because Jimmy's in like a custom suit, and Jimmy's amazingly hot and handsome and all that shit. But like his buddies were just like quarter zips and hoodies and joggers and fucking boot cut jeans and like backwards hats and stuff. And it's like, yes, I love these fucking guys.
It's great, dude.
Speaking of being hot and handsome, have you heard about our products from Wood?
I have. They're on the table if you're watching this on YouTube, which subscribe to the Barstool Chicago YouTube. Watch these on YouTube as well if you'd like. They look nice. They look great. Chief, you're a big fan.
Yeah, I've been using the body wash, the shampoo, the conditioner. Great lather. Smells really good. I think I have the scent called Golden Hour.
You do?
Yeah, so it smells great. So I've been using it every day. No complaints at all. Hair soft, hair shiny. If I could use the beard oil, I would. But yeah, it's a really good product. I don't like saying that unless I actually believe it. But I've been using it every day and like it. So
Smooth brandy and Madagascar vanilla. Ed, where's Madagascar?
Africa, correct?
Off the coast.
Did you
of
like that
Africa,
movie?
yes.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, actually.
I haven't seen that.
Me
one
neither,
either.
but
Heard
it's
it's
got a
good, though.
loaded cast, right? And just how Wood has loaded
That's The Rock, right?
ingredients
Loaded.
that
That's
are going to
Moana.
make you. This rich cream mousse hybrid softens facial hair to ensure a smooth shave. Rich cream mousse.
Like that. And everything's $15 or less. You can get it at CVS. Just give it a shot. Give it a shot. I think you'll like it. Next time you run out, go to CVS, get Wood.
Getwood.com.
Sulfate free.
I was just going to say
That's
all products
huge. That
It
is
is
huge.
big.
Sulfate free is huge
I don't
for the
f-
balds like me and Ed.
I don't
Sturk.
fuck with sulfates.
No, can't fuck with
Not
sulfates.
bald.
Oh, baldings. The baldings like me, Ed, and Carl.
I'm still pretty good.
I'm all right.
Eddie has good
Hasn't
hair.
gotten
You come
worse.
in when you do the fucking pompadour or whatever that thing's called, looks great.
Thank you.
You do have a
Pompadour.
good, right? Isn't that like the
I don't-
fucking comb? You know, it's like
Maybe.
a nice fucking.
I've never heard that word before. You might be
Pompadour?
right. I've just never heard that word before.
I could have completely just made it up.
I think you did.
The
The
pompadour.
pompadour.
Sounds like a
No.
cruise
No,
ship.
he's got it. He's got it. He's right. Almost looks
He
like
doesn't have that, though. But that is.
Yeah, but you get that
that's a
sense
quad.
that he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
listening to
Yeah.
Frankie Valli and rolling dice with the boys. And
That's right.
what else we got, guys? I don't.
I mean, it's like
I'll talk about as much as you guys want to, but I don't want to like force it on anybody. And then obviously I'm talking about the Bear Search.
Yeah, it's
I mean, we could. There's just so many names. There's just like, have you coached football in the last 10 years? Okay, you get an interview.
So it feels like they're doing way more than they should be. And I'm not alone.
I
on
don't
it.
know. Like,
head coaching wise, yes. Because if you're gonna hire the GM first, it's like, what are we? They're bringing in the Colts DC for a second interview. It's
Eberflus.
like, what? Like, why are you doing that if you don't have
Who's
the
he
GM?
interviewing with?
Yes, it's nuts.
a guy that won't be here fucking 2 weeks from now.
It's so frustrating. It's like we took a tum after those firings, and then it's just you need like 10 more.
Well,
It's just
maybe
never
they're
going away.
siloing things now. So they're going to have a GM that reports to George, and maybe they have a coach who reports to Ted, and just have it could just be completely dysfunctional.
They're fucking morons.
They are.
The worst. It's like how
legit morons.
we all know that chances are they're going to fuck this whole thing up. I would say chances are pretty good they're going to fuck this whole thing up. Can we all agree on that?
I think we're watching them fuck it up.
It's like it's unfolding right before our eyes, and like, when do we stop caring? Like, I've already kind of gotten there, but like, I know I'm different from the rest of the fan base. Like, when, because
You were
If-
out, came back in 18, and now you're back out again. Like that was. Didn't you say like you?
the Trestman killed me?
You're right,
It was
yeah.
it was the Aaron Cromer bullshit where he was like crying and like people were shit talking him behind his back and they were trying to fight each other. Like, I couldn't do that. I was like, I'm out. I'm out. Like, I'll watch from a distance, but I can no longer lose sleep over this team. Like, that's
Yeah.
how I was growing up. Like, if the Bears lost, it ruined my fucking day. And you've seen me like that with the Wildcats and obviously the White Sox, but like, all my sports teams were causing me so much misery during that stretch that like one of them had to not really go, but like I had to stop caring about them, and I'm kind of back there with them. Like, I know they're going to fuck this up. Like, I'll watch them every week, but I'm no longer going to let them affect my mood on a day-to-day basis after they lose, a 10 games in a season, 11 games, whatever it is.
Yeah. It's the other thing is, like, you read all these names and there's not one single name where I'm like, fuck yeah, like, let's get that guy.
Yeah.
Like, for either position. It's just
I think
like,
a lot of people are starting to say that after Dable, after he just fucking tore apart the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
The problem is you say that like, they're going to fuck it up, but at the same time, like, we thought they got it right last time. Like, that year was amazing.
Yep.
Like,
he was coach of the year.
Are we going to remember that defense for as like good as it was?
I hope so.
No, we're gonna remember it for how we got like how many 17 regular season games out of it. That week 1 in Packers 2019 when it was a 10-3 loss.
Yeah,
we used to give up 10 points to Aaron Rodgers in a fucking opening game. You kidding me?
T formation.
Yeah,
baby.
T formation. He was wearing the fucking throwback costume.
Yeah. So I think you remember it's like you had that girlfriend and things fun. It was a great time, but then it just like it ended poorly. Like you're just gonna remember how it ended.
It was a fun summer. You hit the carnival. You had a good time. You rode the Ferris wheel, and then like after that, it was just
And but
haunted
like
house.
to that point, like I think everybody probably has been in that relationship where it like starts off so great and like you have the memory of the greatness, so you let it run for 3 years and then you just like wasted 4 years of your life. Yeah,
well,
and like that's how it feels with like the fact that was like we kind of got hired in a way, like we started this podcast, like that just seems like it was just so long ago, that fall of 18. So
I mean, you think of the trajectory here. The Angelo era ended, and then the Trestman era came, and it was like a slow burn of like, all right, and like Angelo's guys are done, and Phil Emery wasn't going to do anything to put us in a better spot. So the Bears were like, 30th team, like we were lowest of the low, and then you get Fox to kind of like put a Band-Aid on it, and then it was like, all right, you feel like the roller coaster's coming up, and it's just, I don't really know where we are right now, to be honest, right?
We lost an identity for a little bit when they bring in Emery, and you're like, okay, now we're going to go quarterback heavy. And, then you do have the fallouts prior to Trestman with Urlacher, Kreutz, Briggs. We're like, dude, our whole identity, the stuff that we grew up loving the Bears, and like, it's not a joke to say that we had pride when we'd go out and lose 14 to fucking 10 or something against the Cowboys. Or, even though they weren't those great teams in the 2000s, you were still very proud. And the way that those identities shifted and stuff, it was so weird going from Lovey to Trestman back to Fox to Nagy. Now, like, honestly, I look at these things, it's like, sure, of course, Flores sounds great, but if they gave us Leslie Frazier and he's got head coaching experience at this point, like, I feel like I've got Stockholm Syndrome saying, like, sure, I'll take that. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. That was the difference was, like, the pride in the 14-10 games. There was no pride in the 10-3 game because for the first time, we actually had an offensive-minded coach, and it's like, this should be better.
Yeah.
Like, before, it was like,
here we go.
We're getting, like, hey, here you go. Here's Johnny Knox, and it's your skill player. Like, make it work. Get us 14. We'll take care of the rest. This was like, hey, no. Like, we should be in the 20s every game, and Nagy just fucking sucked.
And the thing that really hurts too is obviously having such weak leadership at the top. And like you don't need great leadership, going into fucking on a Thursday practice where you're getting ready in like week 6. No one's thinking about George McCaskey. It's like, dude, we're only going to really talk about you in very short spurts throughout the year where you are really impactful. And it may not even you could go years where like who cares about what George McCaskey thinks. And this is where it just sucks at the top where you just have weak fucking leadership. They don't know what they want. It's not even like they're trying to install something. They're just, let's have 40 fucking interviews, and everyone who comes in here, how would you fix the Bears? How would you fix the Bears?
Yeah.
Reminds me of like Mike McCarthy. Remember he's got the quote. He's like, yeah, I told him I watched every game. I didn't watch any game. I was just trying to get the fucking job.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I feel like the Bears, like anybody could walk in there and impress them and just like tell them what they want to hear. Like, I feel like, yeah, George, like you're doing great, but the Nagy kind of fucked it up. But like, look, what I hear about you guys is A+ shit, and I feel like George would be like, yeah, finally somebody understands me. You're fucking hired. Exactly. I feel like it would be so easy to
be a con man.
Yeah,
1,000%,
and get a job.
Everybody here knows a fucking con man in their life that could talk a fucking unbelievable game of bullshit.
Yep.
And then when it comes to getting shit done, they're just like, hey, you suck. You know?
Yep.
So I could definitely see someone being like it's the number one job. If you can manipulate an interview, like you get a fucking great job.
Yep.
So
This is the
Good
phrase
luck.
that'll
Pace
get
was-
you hired by the Bears.
Yeah.
George, you're a lot closer than you think.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
like you know what I mean?
yes.
Think about that. And
Yeah.
I will say this too, and I was more surprisingly, I guess, optimistic than people would think last week. And I actually want to say that to you too, because you've been saying how bad of a job it is and how undesirable of a location it is. I think it could be looked at as the opposite, because you'd rather have that if you're a general manager than a meddling owner. There is a real opportunity here where if they get the right guy in place, they're going to be able to not answer to anybody, and they're going to be able to do their thing. That's invaluable when it comes to this fucking position. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's true.
You're not wrong, but I just feel like the likelihood of them being able to find the right guy, to find,
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying as an attractive destination for someone to be like, hey, I like this job. It's like, well, you got to go there. Like, good luck. You got to deal with
Yeah.
Jerry Jones. Like, you know what I mean? Just know that. Like, hey, if he really loves a first rounder from Texas A&M, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be.
You better hope
Yes.
his son is there to tackle
Exactly.
him. Yeah.
Here it's like you legitimately, you're walking into that office, you're fucking doing whatever the fuck you want.
Yes, for now. I do think that this ownership question, because Virginia is so old and her shares pass on to 11 children and 40 grandchildren, you don't necessarily know who the next owner is. So if this was 10 years ago, and you could probably say that and just be like, yeah, man, like you'll have full autonomy because there's nobody, like the lights are on, but nobody's home upstairs. So
That was mean.
well, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't talking about Virginia. I was talking about George.
Yeah, he didn't
Oh,
say
yeah.
he knows her birthday date.
February 2nd.
I think Virginia actually just turned 99. But so I think like there is some uncertainty around the Bears' job, and if I would say for most people the number one thing that they look for is job security, and I think there is an element of that where it might not be here because of the circumstances with the Bears right now. But I digress. But yeah, I think I think the right guy could turn this thing around.
You gotta find the right guy.
You got to find the right guy.
Find the right
but
guy.
there are pieces that are attractive, and there's something like, I read a long article about like their cap situation, and like it's pretty good, and then they have more flexibility for some like kind of strategic cuts or restructuring on top of that. Like they're going to be. They could.
Let me ask
turn it
you guys a
around.
question. So, call it 30 years since 1990, rounded to 20 or 30 years. The only level of sustained success that the Bears have had is with Lovie Smith, where I think we could all agree they were consistently good.
They were competent.
Yeah, they were competent, organized. They won a lot of football games. Were never great, really. Even in the years they won 13 games and shit like that. Owen Krutz said they kind of lucked into him because I think it was Nick Saban. They were looking to hire ahead of him, but he went to the Dolphins or whatever he did, whatever. If they lucked into a competent coaching staff, is your definition of success like the New England Patriots, or is it
That's never
the
gonna happen again.
Lovie Smith type Bears?
I would say. I always bring up the Steelers. Like it's Tomlin. It's Cowher.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
where it's like you're consistently good, consistently
Saints.
in the playoffs. Yeah, like it's not a mystery why these handful of teams are just always.
And they both. What has Ben got? 2?
Ben's got 2, and then they lost 1.
And
they
then
lost the Packers.
Breeze had 2 or 1.
Breeze had 1, and then Breeze just had the 1. And they were supposed to go to the Super Bowl, and they had that pass interference in 18.
Yeah, against the Vikings.
Saints against the Rams.
I thought that was against the Vikings.
There's Vikings. The Minneapolis Miracles you're talking about?
No, they won that game. The Minneapolis
you're right,
Miracle.
you're
And
right.
they
Oh,
had
yeah,
the
you're
Rams
right, you're
pass
right, you're right.
interference, the blown call.
Oh, yeah.
But like, yeah, give it 15 years, win a Super Bowl, and then you're consistently good.
That would
yeah.
be or like I feel like the Broncos were that for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they might dip here and there, but overall they were always like pretty good. Even when they had Jake Plummer.
Packers,
and
there's another one.
I think that's just the quarterback thing. I really do. I think it like those other teams they've
Yeah.
like the Steelers
Well,
went to
they
the
had
Super
Hall
Bowl
of
with
Fame
Neil
quarterbacks.
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Like they went to the Super Bowl with Neil O'Donnell. So
Who?
exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever. That's just
That's a big change-up. I mentioned, send me that article because I know you were talking about the Giants last week about the cap and everything, and
but I still feel that way based upon. I still feel like the Bears are an unattractive job based upon some of the things that they'll have to overcome and the uncertainty with this transition to Arlington and ownership. Like that is, if I were a coach and I'm like, I better like have at least a 5-year deal. I better try to be here for 5 years. I don't know the Bears have provide the best opportunity for that.
Okay.
But I do think that they have pieces in place. And if you believe in Justin Fields, which I still do, then you can get it going.
Well said. I have a few things left on the list here.
Okay.
The Bulls need like a week off.
Yeah, you knew this was going to happen.
They had the time where they were off, and then they came back from being off. They were playing cupcakes, and then I think we're almost done. There's a couple days left. 7 games in 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a week off.
I mean,
I think
some bone bruises.
Dude, they're getting in some of these losses. I mean, they're down by 40 in the game.
Yeah. I'll say one thing. I'm starting to fall in love with Io. Big time. And like I know he had the big offensive night against I was at the Barstool bar for that game. So I was like kind of looking at it, but not really against the Celtics. I just love the way he plays defense. Like he's awesome, in your fucking face. And it's like, if you have a guy like a team that has like a ball dominant, let's say, scoring guard in the playoffs, and you can just switch off like, all right, hey, Caruso, you're in his fucking hip pocket for the next 5 minutes, and then we're bringing Io on to do the same thing. You just wear that guy the fuck, whoever it is. That, I think, is like a potential little feather in the cap if you're like in the Bulls in a match. It's like, how do you stop this guy? Those two guys just switch in. They're always going to be fresh. Like just almost do like hockey shifts and just keep one of those guys going because Io's been spectacular on ball defense.
And they're saying that he's emerged as like now when he's on the court, they're putting him onto the number one perimeter guy every time now.
Great.
He's number one in rookies in efficiency. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
No
efficiency
clue.
ratings. I don't know. I don't know what it means for the dozen ratings either.
But I read an article on like their power ranking rookies today, and the rookies that are on the list, like Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley and all these other fucking guys. Like the fact that he's even in this conversation as a second rounder.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's gonna get better too. Like that's like he's gonna keep. I believe so. Like
Shout
he's gonna
out
be one
AK.
of those guys that's gonna continue to get better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's already like,
and fucking not shout out to everyone who like passed on him. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like, we saw him. Last
I didn't
year.
think that he was gonna play at all this year.
I thought it was a stupid pick, and I thought it was like a heartstring pick because he's a Southside guy, grew up Bulls fan, Illinois guy. I was like, come on, he slid so much, but he's good, man. He's good.
I just thought there wouldn't be minutes for him because of the Bulls have great wings already.
Right.
Guard heavy.
Caruso. They had already signed Caruso, or I think they signed Caruso.
I don't think they intended on playing him much. I think he's earned. He just earned,
and then White. Like I thought they just had.
And
two.
Kobe White started on the fucking
COVID
injured reserve or whatever.
But yeah, he's been awesome. He's been a real bright spot.
And then we brought it up, I'm sure we did last week or something, but like DeMar going down with them to have the jersey retirement stuff. And like there's a lot of quotes and buzz around the team where the veterans have just taken to Io so much because he's like one of those guys you see, you're like, okay, this guy has what it takes. We like him that much.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Underwood said in practice, Io would go out of his way to embarrass his teammates if he had to play like anytime he was in a man-on-man situation.
Say that again? I'm sorry.
Brad Underwood said in practice situations, scrimmages, drills, whatever, if Io had a one-on-one assignment, he would go out of his way to embarrass you. Like
I love that.
I'm literally not whether it's like stealing, boxing you out into the fucking wall, just being
just
like
a hyper competitive.
You just
guy.
get You don't want to be out there against those guys.
Love that.
Well, there was one last thing I can't remember, so I'll offer it up to you guys. What else we got going on here, boys?
You talked about Illinois, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Just like
bit.
going onto the campus and stuff. How just like. It was fucking crazy. The game was awesome. I love an 11 a.m.
Like matinee game.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to disrespect MLK Junior Day, but if we could do more 11 a.m. tips, like if we could mix that in on Mondays, that was amazing.
On Mondays, yeah. I mean that's always great. And then I love those 11 a.m. Big Ten games on the weekends. Anyways, we talked about hungover activities, hungover programs. Big Ten basketball.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
fucking
It's
great for that.
right up there.
Yeah.
The morning CBS Saturday.
Yeah.
Like a game at Assembly Hall in
It's
Indiana.
Iowa versus fucking Indiana. It's 60-58 game, and you're just sitting there dozing in and out.
The best would be like the Beth Mowins games during football season too, where it's just like put me to sleep.
I'll tell you right now, I think Purdue is fucking unbelievable.
They're sick.
They're good. Matt Painter.
Some of
they're
those kids
awesome.
on that
You know
team.
who sucks is Michigan, even though they won big last night.
I don't know what's going on with them.
It's weird. I thought they were
the
going
whole
to be.
Big Ten kind of feels
Yeah, they don't have. It's down a little bit from
like last year was
the
like
last
a
10
way better,
years.
way better league.
Definitely.
I feel like
Michigan State.
They're,
Just lost at home to Northwestern.
yeah.
But I don't think there's any really bad teams.
Yeah,
there's
it's
there's just not a
low floor, high.
Yeah. Low ceiling, high floor.
Yeah. It's a crawl space.
Yeah, that's Econ 101. I thought when they teach you this.
Yeah, the Big Ten is a crawl space. Like you just have to hunt for it. Everybody's around the same.
Yeah.
So
This was the last thing I wanted to ask you. I had top 5 Eminem songs. I noticed you put "Sing for the Moment" in your top 5. I thought
Sing for the Moment's in my top 5, but I also think are you guys good enough with that? I feel like we should have to save that for a draft.
I don't draft 25 Eminem songs.
Yeah, there's enough.
Yeah. Could you go the D12 Eminem?
Sure.
Purple Pills I loved. That's D12 though.
don't
That's a
tilt your
30
hand.
dozen.
yeah, Dave.
Don't tip your hand here.
Well, are we doing that draft?
I think we should. I think that's a good draft.
Can you
I'll
get
do
run
it for
that
sure.
one?
We should for sure do that.
Just Eminem. Or
Just
can it be-
Eminem.
Okay.
Just Eminem.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
No.
I think I'm 25 Eminem songs. I don't know if I got that in me.
You don't think so?
I'd have to like familiarize myself with his collection again.
His
Dude.
catalog.
Yeah, go to listen to Marshall Mathers LP or dude, fucking one of the
I mean,
best.
he's one of the greatest.
One of the greatest
20,
ever.
25, I think is.
He just did his last music video with a guy from Chicago. I was at dinner on Friday and I was talking to this guy. He's like, "Oh," I was like, "What do you do for dinner? Or what do you do for work?" And he's like, "I work for Lyrical Lemonade."
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I was like,
I'm
"Oh,
familiar with them.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?" And then shortly thereafter, I found out they have 19 million subscribers. He's not the number one guy. They went to high school together, and he's been working with them since then, and has been. That's like this only job the guy's had. So he's like in on the scene, and he's like an editor and does all this shit. But I was like, "Oh, so what do you do?" He's like, "Yeah, Lyrical Lemonade." I was like, I have no clue. And then shortly thereafter, it's like, "Oh, you just did Post Malone's music. You just did Eminem's music video."
Yeah, they're
That's one of those
monsters.
moments because I've never heard of Lyrical Lemonade either, but it's just like, I'm not cool.
Thank you.
I'm not cool.
I
Like,
felt so uncool.
Yeah.
They're monsters. I met them through Pat Corcoran from, Chance's old
huge.
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't meet. I met one of the Ged's brothers and whatnot, and that's when I found out about them, and I was like, whoa.
Dude, heavy fucking hitting mid-20 guys in the West Loop, just like cranking out monster. They did Lucid Dreams for Juice WRLD. Things got 800 million views.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's right. They're big in the Juice WRLD doc. If you saw that on HBO.
I did. And I still didn't remember that name.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the guy who directed that music video. He was the one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, better off still just talking to sports. I'll never be cool enough. So. All guys.
No breaks.
DJ play that shit.